If you just bought yourself the PXN VD4 or VD6 bundle and you're staring at this WAS wheel and you are looking at all the buttons wondering where to start, then this video is for you. The PXN WAS wheel gives you 29 programmable inputs. That includes your face buttons, D-pad, rotary encoders, magnetic shifters, and dual clutch pedals. And then of course you also have the RPM LED strip. The key to mapping this wheel properly is understanding what type of control each input is. Standard buttons, best for pit limiter, headlights, flash, wipers, or camera changes. Then you have your rotary encoders. Each encoder can rotate left, rotate right, and you can press it. 3 buttons in one. It's ideal for adjustable values while driving, like brake bias, traction control, ABS, or your engine map. Then there is your clutch pedals. They're independent or linked. It's useful for manual race starts or dual clutch launches. Once you assign the right job to the right input, the wheel feels natural very quickly. Mounting is straightforward. You align these 2 white lines with each other and then you push until it locks. To remove it, I like to turn it sideways and then you press this orange part with the PXN logo and you pull it off. As you can see, it's toolless and quick and very helpful for when you want to start swapping rims out. Let's look at the PXN SimRacing software. Now this might be daunting if this is your first time, but it's actually very user friendly. As you can see here in the left hand corner, there's my wheel. Turning it set to 900 degrees, so 450 and 450. If you are playing F1, set it to 360, check this. Now it only goes to there and there. Cannot go further than that, 180 to each side. And that's how you want to play Formula 1. You never see the guys actually turn more than that. That's why I like to do that. Some guys say let the game take care of it. I disagree. So I like to change it. We'll be testing GT3 cars, so let's just leave it on 540 for now. Let's have a look at the firmware tab or the update tab. If your base and your wheel and your pedals needs a firmware update, these buttons will be highlighted. But as you can see right now, they're not, because mine is all updated. I always like to keep my firmware on the latest version, unless of course there are problems with them. But so far with PXN, every single update that's come out, no problem. Let's go to the button test screen. Make sure when you click on devices that your steering wheel is selected, and here you can now see we've got all the buttons. We've got our pedal shifters, clutch pedals, got your 4-way D-pad, got your face buttons, left side button, right side button, the one that says DRS box, yeah, X, Y, A, B. Got these 2 buttons right here, TR and home, S1, S2. There you can see your rotary encoders, and it's very responsive. Rotary encoders left and right or up and down, and then button presses, and then your 3 little buttons here in the middle. All works really well. You can see every single input registering, which makes it easy to set up. You've got button mappings. Now, What I've noticed on some games, like Automobilista 2 for example, which we will not be using in this video, the D-pad didn't want to work. So I had to go and click here and literally map it to my arrow keys, which you can do. So we're on the one that goes up, you can map it here to your arrow keys. So if you do find a game where the buttons do not want to register, come back to your button mapping and change it here. It works really, really well. Okay, let's go to RPM light settings. Here you can now play around. You can leave it constantly on. Why you would want to do that, I don't know. Then you wanted to read the telemetry from the game. If for some reason the wheel doesn't support the telemetry of the game, you just select sim mode. But otherwise you can change it here. You can see the different modes: standard, racing, focused. That is your RPM thresholds, and your LEDs will, like it says there, dynamically illuminate at certain set levels. And then it's a real-time shift indicator when you want to shift. So like here you can see it will start at 5%, 40% green, then it will change to red, blue, 95% it will flash and tell you to shift. Focused is cool because it's going to light up from the sides to the middle. I actually want to try this one and see what it looks like. Then you can set this flash to flash at 100%. You can also adjust the brightness. Check it out. If I turn it down, boom, off it goes. Switch it on again. You can go total bright with this because it's not very big indicator. Then you can go custom. You can change the colors. Now let's go to pedal settings. You can see it lights up the two clutch pedals. And it's set to be linked. So you get linked or you get independent axis. So then you got right, you got left. I like to keep them linked because then you use both to launch. If there's for some reason a problem with your clutch pedals, you can calibrate them. So let's do it quickly. There's nothing wrong with mine, but just to show you calibration, full depress the 4 pedals. So it's not just your clutch pedals, it's also your shifting, your left upper pedal and your right upper pedal. So you press them all. 1, 2, 3. Finish. And that's your clutch pedals, man. Calibrate it. Let's go back to button settings. Just make sure everything works perfectly. Yep. So now you can go to games. You can click on Le Mans Ultimate and check here. My wheelbase I've already set up. Check all these different presets. So there'll be different presets that has been provided by PXN and then other known channels. I mean, like here's Overtake. I use their one for Le Mans Ultimate. Feels great. So Overtake, thank you. If you're watching this video, thank you. That's for wheelbase. And steering wheel the same. Like I've got my AMS2 one where I remap those buttons. So I just click here and I apply it, it loads it. I've got buttons for Le Mans Ultimate, Virtual Motor. It's Le Mans Ultimate. You select it, you apply it, it will tell you, apply successfully, confirm. And then if I make changes to the buttons, it will all just load automatically every single time. That way, you don't have to remap every single time you want to play a different game. So make sure to use presets. Even for your pedals, you can create a new preset. Here you can save your preset. Click on save. It will ask you to give it a name. You can even link it with a game. More than one game. Really cool. Give your preset a name. Test 1, 2, 3. We say we're going to use it in Assetto Corsa and Assetto Corsa Rally. Confirm. It's been saved. But yeah, presets very, very easy. So now that we have gone through the important parts that applies to the wheel in the software, let's jump into the game so that I can show you how I assign each of these buttons and to which function. starting with Le Ultimate. Once you're in Le Ultimate, you go to settings. I've gone and reset all the buttons, so nothing has been assigned. If you go to controls, you'll see everything's blank. So when it comes to the wheel, assigning your buttons, I do it like this. And this is now if you do not have a button box or anything. The only thing you have is the PXN W AS wheel. So steering left and right, I mean, this is pretty simple, straightforward. Clutch, that's cool. We use that. Clutch pedals at the back. There we go. Because they are linked, you only have to assign one of them. For the clutch to be fully depressed, you're going to have to press both of them. Okay. Shift up and down, that's your paddle shifters. Shift to neutral, you'll see this little N button. Sometimes you quickly want to shift to reverse. Very helpful. Press neutral, then you can quickly shift to reverse. Change driving camera. I don't do that in the game. I like my cockpit view with my triples, so we do not assign any of that. Request pit stop. There is a button here that's called box. You can press that one. Your MFD menu, the menu that you access to change your pit strategy or change new tires, the new tires that you want, or fuel. I assign that to the D-pad, the next page and the previous page. So right and left, navigate up, navigate down. Then we've got MFD increment and MFD decrement. I was thinking the S1 and the S2 button. So you will literally change it up, down, then you can increment it and decrement it with your S1 and S2. So increment will be S1, decrement will be S2. That's your primary controls. Set up on the WAS wheel. Okay, now on car controls, we've got quite a few very important settings here. So there is a very specific speed limiter button here at the bottom, but I like it next to box. So we're going to make our speed limiter the right side button here at the top. Headlights, so there's no Formula 1 here, there's no DRS. So headlights, I like to make left side button, and headlights pulse, I use the DRS button. Wipers, we can set that to P down here. Then ignition, TR, and starter, home. Getting down to the electronics, I only focus on traction control, brake bias, ABS, and increment and decrement regeneration. That's for your battery. So the only buttons I need here is traction control increase. There's a dedicated button for that. Increase, decrease. We'll deal with ABS just now. Brake bias, you can change that sometimes depending on the corner. So brake bias forward, brake bias backward. And let's go to ABS quickly. Onboard ABS, I use my YB and then XA for the regeneration. So onboard increase, onboard ABS increase, B, onboard ABS decrease, Y. Increment regeneration and decrement. We can use increment regeneration as A, decrement is X. Skip formation lap. You can use a button on the keyboard for that. We're not going to add that to the wheel. We don't care about changing the cameras. Let's go to interaction. We've only got 3 more buttons left. PL and our 2 rotary encoders when you press them. So toggle the HUD. If you want to switch that on and off or toggle it, we're going to use PL for that. Cycle the mirror, we can use a keyboard button for that. Cycle the track map. We're not going to do that while we're racing. Cycle standings data. Nope. Let's see what else is here. Reset force feedback. Nope. None of this is needed on the wheel. So we still have 2 buttons left. Let's make this interesting. So skip information lap. Can assign that to our brake bias rotary encoder. Button press. And sometimes you want to pause the simulation. We can assign that to traction control. Press. So these are things that you won't use that much. Guys, that's it. Easy as that. You won't need anything more on the wheel. Everything else you can set up on the keyboard. But let's jump into a couple of practice laps, and see how we benefit from this button assignment. Let's switch on that ignition and start it. And let's take it for a couple of laps. Pit limiter is on. You can see I can switch it off, but let's leave it on. Let's switch on our wipers. You can see you can toggle the different wiper modes with this button. Works perfectly. When I really mess around with the HUD, you can see here we can switch on the full HUD. Switch off the HUD, I don't like to race with it. As you can see here on my SimPush Race Logic dash, I can switch the lights on. There you can see the lights go on, lights off. Then we got lights flashing. You can see the box will show you lights on, lights off. Really cool. So flashing lights there, no problem. You actually need part of your hub on to see some of this information. Like if I press box now, you'll see pit stop requested. You can cancel that. But here on the bottom left screen, and I don't know how guys do this, probably helps when they're busy driving into the pit, but here you can set your tires, tire change. So if I want to go into the pits now, there's different pages. If I want to go into the pits now, I can change this. These two S1 and S2 buttons that we've assigned, you can then go down and say what you want your front left tire to be changed to, pressure and all that. So we're not going to do that now, but easily you can say I want to come into the pits, and you can find this page quickly. I want to change my tires to new mediums. My crew is ready for the pit stop. Here we go into the pits. 60 pit limiter on. As you can see, nice to have that button on your wheel. In the pits, busy putting on some new mediums. New mediums are on. Pit limiter is on. We have to change this dashboard a bit so that you can see. So here at the bottom of the dash you can see ABS, traction control and engine mapping, but we're not using engine mapping. So I'm going to show you our traction control changes. Now you can see 6, 7, 8, 9 works really well. And that's it guys. That's it for a more ultimate. The goal isn't to use every button. You can try, nothing wrong with it. It is to make sure that all the important functions are within reach, so that while you're racing, you can just press the button without even thinking. You'll use your standard buttons for one press actions, your encoders for adjustments, and then of course your paddles for shifting or clutch control. Once that logic is clear, setup becomes simple. The PXN W AS wheel gives you enough flexibility to handle modern GT cars, endurance racing and classic titles. And the software makes managing profiles straightforward. Set it up once properly, save your presets, and you're good to go. Guys, if you like this video and you want to see more of these kind of tutorials on the channel, then please click that like button and leave me a comment. As always, I'll see you in the next one.